Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for the man of the half hour, the star of Pyle and Company, Jacob Pyle!
Thank you. There's a reason for the sunshine sky. There's a reason why I'm feeling so high. Must be the season when that love light shines all around us. So let that feeling grab you deep inside. Send you reeling where your love can't hide. And then we're sealing the moonlit nights with your love. Just let your love flow like a mountain stream, and let your love grow with the smallest of dreams. Let your love show, and you know what I mean. It's the season. Let your love fly like a bird on a wing, and let your love bind you to all living things, and let your love shine, and you know what I mean. That's the reason. There's a reason for the warm, sweet nights. There's a reason for the candle lights. Must be the season when those love lights shine all around us. So let that wonder take you into space and lay you under its loving embrace. Just feel the thunder as it warms your face. You can hold back. Let your love flow like a mountain stream, and let your love grow with the smallest of dreams, and let your love show, and you'll know what I mean. It's the season. Let your love fly like a bird on a wing, and let your love bind you to all living things, and let your love shine, and you'll know what I mean. Let your love flow like a mountain stream, and let your love grow the smallest of dreams, and let your love show, and you know what I mean. It's the season. Let your love fly like a bird on a wing, and let your love bind you to all living things, and let your love shine, and you know what I mean. That's the reason. Yes. Thank you very much. Thank you. Welcome to Pyle and Company. My name is Jacob Pyle. I got a story to share. At the end of their first date, a young man takes his favorite girl home. Emboldened by the night, he decides to try for that important first kiss. With an air of confidence, he leans with his hand against the wall, and smiling, he says to her, "Darling, how about a good night kiss?" Horrified, she replies, "Are you mad? My parents will see us." "Oh, come on. Who's going to see us at this hour?" "No, please. Can you imagine if we get caught?" "Oh, come on. There's nobody around. They're all sleeping." "No way. It's just too risky." "Oh, please. I like you so much." No, and no. I like you too, but I just can't." "Oh, yes, you can. Please." No, I just can't." "Please." Then out of the blue, the porch light goes on, and the girl's sister shows up in her pajamas, hair disheveled, and in a sleepy voice the sister says, "Dad says to go ahead and give him a kiss. Or I can do it. Or if need be, he'll come down himself and do it. But for crying out loud, tell him to take his hand off the intercom button." Well, as you guys might have already guessed, this week's episode of Pyle and Company will be a special episode as we devote this special show in order to celebrate Valentine's Day. We got songs, poems, and a whole lot of Valentine's Day fun for you. So sit back and enjoy the next half hour with us. We have our usual cast of regulars with us this week. The talented voice of Butch McCain, our man in Indianapolis, Robert Nash, and the one and only Mr. No Name. We got a good show for you this week, so don't go away. We'll be right back. Welcome back to our Pyle and Company Valentine's Day special. Now, normally at this time of the show, Robert Nash will come on and we'll usually share a poem. But today, he has a Valentine's Day song for all of you. Here to recite the lyrics to the Stevie Wonder song, "I Just Called to Say I Love You." Give it up for my co-host on Pyle and Company, Robert Nash.
Thank you, Jacob. Usually, at this time of the show every week, I would have a poem for you. But on this week's show, in order to celebrate Valentine's Day, I'm going to do a little bit of Stevie Wonder for you as I recite the lyrics to the song, "I Just Called to Say I Love You." And I hope you like it. Hit it, maestro. No New Year's Day to celebrate. No chocolate-covered candy hearts to give away. No first of spring. No song to sing. In fact, here's just another ordinary day. No April rain. No flowers bloom. No wedding. Saturday within the month of June. But what it is something true. Made up of these three words that I must say to you. I just called to say I love you. I just called to say how much I care. I just called to say I love you. No summer's high, no warm July, no harvest moon to light one tender August night, no autumn breeze, no falling leaves, not even time for birds to fly to southern skies. No Libra sun, no Halloween. No giving thanks to all the Christmas joy you bring. But what it is, though old, so new, to fill your heart like no three words could ever do. I just called to say I love you. I just called to say how much I care, I do. I just called Thank you. We'll be back with more of Pyle and Company after this. Welcome back to Pyle and Company. It's time once again for this week's Throwback Saturday segment. And in this week's Throwback Saturday segment, we present a skit about a father apologizing to his son for not spending time with him. So without further ado, here's Brian Bookout to introduce our skit, Apology from a Parent.
The skit that you are about to watch is called Apology from a Parent. What the father is going to be doing is he's going to be apologizing to his son for not being able to spend time with him. And as you watch the skit, listen very closely to the biblical message that is being taught in the skit. And now, ladies and gentlemen, Apology from a Parent.
Hey, Dad, happy Father's Day. I love you.
That sounded a bit awkward.
Sorry.
No, actually, I'm sorry. Why would it come naturally to you if it does not come naturally for me? I mean, I should say it more often, right? I mean, I should have started that when you were a baby.
It's okay.
No, it isn't. And you know that I love you.
Yeah,
I do, you know.
I know.
Well, I know I haven't been the perfect parent,
I haven't exactly been the perfect son.
but I am the adult. I should set the example. No matter what my parents did or did not do, I need to step up.
Were your parents not around for you?
You know, that really shouldn't matter. When I became a Christian a few years ago, I learned to forgive my earthly parents. And God became my perfect heavenly Father. And Jesus is my perfect living example. And the Bible should be somewhere nearby so that I can study it every day and learn from it. And then I should be living it consistently and teaching you what I've learned, not just by what I say, but what I do.
I've noticed a bit of a difference.
Well, I do know there should be a way bigger difference.
No one's perfect.
Well, no, of course not. But we should be trying and be learning and growing every day. And when we do make mistakes, we should learn how to work things out properly. You know, like the other day, you were trying to explain something, but I just cut you off because, well, there's no excuse. I just assumed that you were up to no good, you know? I mean, and then we got into our usual screaming match. I should have listened and we should have discussed things. So, I'm sorry for that. I would like to try again with that and have a real conversation. You know, if you're going to respect me, then I need to respect you. We need to work together because I'd really like to have a peaceful, joyful house where you feel safe and loved. So how about if we sit down somewhere and really talk, you know? And I want you to start. Let me know your thoughts and concerns and how you're feeling. And then we could just spend some time together, you know? Maybe watch a movie?
You got it.
Aw, ain't that sweet? And they all lived happily ever after. The end.
Thank you all very much. We'll be back with more of Pyle and Company after this.
When Siri doesn't know something, she asks him. Cowbells say they need more him. Google Maps asks him for directions. His birthday is considered a national holiday. He taught Chuck Norris martial arts. His business card simply says, "We will call you." He taught German Shepherds to bark in Spanish. He is Jacob Pyle, the most interesting man in the world.
Welcome back to Pyle and Company. We have some extra time on our show this week, so we are going to use this time to introduce to all of you a new segment on our show called Ask Jacob, where from time to time I will answer questions that you, our viewers, send in for me to answer, and we are going to use them on our show. So Butch, if you're ready, what is this week's question?
Yes, Jacob. Catherine A. of Elgin, Illinois, wants to know how much time do you spend behind the scenes to produce your show?
Thank you, Catherine, for your question. For those of you out there who don't know, in addition to me hosting the series, I'm also the creator and the producer of the show, which means I do a lot of things behind the scenes as well as on camera for the show each week, just to make sure we have a good show. I'm the guy that usually books guests and writes the material for Robert and I to share each week. I spend a lot of time behind the scenes as well as on camera. Usually I start preparing the scripts for the following week's episode on Friday. I then send the material for Robert to record, and then he records his material from his home in Indianapolis, Indiana, for the show and sends it to me. Sometimes I will send material for our announcer Butch McCain to record, as well if needed be, since he records his material from a studio in Colorado. And then on Mondays, I usually will go ahead and film the host segments. Depending on if we have special guests or not, sometimes I may film the host material a little earlier or later than usual as to accommodate our special guests. And then I edit the material together using a video editing software known as Sony Movie Studio. This is where I add Robert Nash's material, as well as Butch McCain's voiceover material as well. I usually play through the episode to make sure that there isn't any mistakes. I finalize the material, upload it to YouTube, and then I post it on both Facebook and the Pyle and Company website on Saturdays. So yeah, I do spend a lot of time behind the scenes as well as on camera. Thank you for your question. If you guys have an Ask Jacob question that you'd like to submit to me, send me an email to jacobpyle@jtpyle1@aol.com. We'll be back with more of Pyle and Company right after this.
We're always looking for special guests to appear on upcoming episodes of Pyle and Company. If you would like to be a special guest on our program, leave us a note on our Contact Us section of our Pyle and Company website at www.pyleandcompany.weebly.com. Or you can leave us a message on our Pyle and Company Facebook page. Or you can send us an email to jacobpyle@jtpyle1@aol.com. Please include your name along with your email address and or telephone number.
Welcome back to Pyle and Company, and now here to do the Temptation song My Girl. Give it up for my co-host on Pyle and Company, Jacob Pyle.
I got sunshine on a cloud. When it's cold outside, I got roommate. Well, I guess you'd say, what can make me feel this way? My girl, my girl, my girl, my girl. I got so much on the bees and bees. I've got a sweet song than the birds of the trees. Well, I guess you'd say, what can make me feel this way? My girl, my girl, my girl, talk about my girl. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, hey, hey. Yeah, I don't need no money, fortune, fame. I got all the riches, baby. One man. Well, I guess you'd say, what can make me feel this way? My girl, talking about my girl. I got sunshine on a cloudy day with my girl. I even got the month of May with my girl. Talking about my girl, yeah. Talking about my girl.
Pyle and Company will return after these messages.
For those of you out there who don't know, in addition to me hosting the series, I'm also the creator and the producer of the show, which means I do a lot of things behind the scenes as well as on camera for the show each week, just to make sure we have a good show. I'm the guy that usually books guests and writes the material for Robert and I to share each week. I spend a lot of time behind the scenes as well as on camera. Usually I start preparing Welcome back to Pyle and Company. We have some extra time on our show this week, so we're welcome back. And then I edit the material together using a video editing software known as Sony Movie Studio. This is where I add Robert Nash's material as well as Butch McCain's voiceover material as well. This is where I add Robert Nash's material as well as Butch McCain's voiceover material. I was doing so good there too. This is where I add Robert Nash's material as well as Butch McCain's voiceover material as well. I'll usually play through the episode to make sure that there isn't any mistakes. I finalize the material, upload it to YouTube, and then I post it on both This is where I add Robert Nash's material as well as Butch McCain's voiceover material as well. I usually play through the episode to make sure that there isn't any mistakes. I finalize the material, upload it to YouTube, and then I post it on both Facebook and the Pyle and Company website on Saturdays. So yeah, I do spend a lot of time behind the scenes as well as on camera. Thank you for your question. If you guys have an Ask Jacob question that you'd like to submit to me, send me an email to jacobpyle@jtpyle1@aol.com. We'll be back with more of Pyle and Company right after this.
If you want to watch more episodes of this show, go to www.pyleandcompany.weebly.com. And please don't forget to like us on our Facebook page as well. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Butch. Before we go this week, while we were on the subject of Valentine's Day, there is a whole lot of people that make this show possible. And without them, we wouldn't be here doing what we do best. Of course, Jacob and I are only talking about you guys out there, our audience. Without you guys watching us each and every week, we wouldn't be here. So we would like to extend this special Valentine's greeting to you on this Valentine's Day, saying that we thank you for watching and that we hope you continue to watch our show in the weeks ahead. Because boy, we always have good stuff to share with you guys each week, and it's all thanks to you. Jacob?
Thank you, Robert. And as always, before we go, we would like to thank our usual cast regulars for joining us this week. Our man in Indianapolis, Robert Nash, the talented voice of Butch McCain, and the one and only Mr. No Name. Join us again next week, where we will be featuring some more songs, skits, and a whole lot more. We hope you guys can join us then. What a difference you made in my life. What a difference you made in my life. You're my sunshine day and night. Oh, what a difference you made. my life.
Live from Indianapolis, I'm Robert Nash. Thanks as always for joining us. Have a safe and wonderful Valentine's Day weekend, and have yourselves a good rest of your week. Happy Valentine's Day, Jacob.
Good night, Robert. And live from our studios here in Tipton, I'm Jacob Pyle. Have a safe and a happy Valentine's Day weekend. And until next week, good night, and God bless my friends.
Also appearing on this week's show, Brian Bookout, J.R. Clifton, and Chris Henry. The preceding program has been pre-recorded before a live audience. For Pyle and Company, I'm Butch McCain.